The air crackled with anticipation. The San Siro, a cauldron of noise and passion, awaited a Champions League classic. Inter Milan, the Nerazzurri, faced the footballing giants of Barcelona. The atmosphere was electric, the tension palpable. This was a night for legends.
The roar from the Curva Nord, Inter's ultras, was deafening. Flags waved, flares blazed, and chants echoed around the stadium. The stage was set for a titanic clash, a battle of styles and wills. Inter, the underdogs, against the might of Barcelona. Inter started with purpose, their early pressure relentless. The crowd roared their approval, urging their team forward. Then, the breakthrough. A swift counterattack, a pinpoint cross, and Lautaro Martinez rose highest to head Inter into the lead. The San Siro erupted a sea of blue and black joy.
Barcelona, stunned by Inter's early intensity, struggled to find their rhythm. Inter sensed their opportunity and struck again. A moment of brilliance from Nicolo Barella, a curling shot from the edge of the box, doubled Inter's lead. The Nerazzurri were in dreamland. Barcelona shell-shocked.
Inter's early dominance was a masterclass in tactical execution. They capitalized on Barcelona's sluggish start, and the fans could feel it. This was their moment.
Barcelona, wounded but not beaten, emerged from the break with renewed purpose. Their passing became crisper, their movement sharper. The pressure mounted on the Inter defense. Then, the inevitable happened. Robert Lewandowski, the Polish predator, found space in the box and fired past the Inter goalkeeper. Barcelona were back in the game.
The momentum had shifted. Barcelona, fueled by the goal, poured forward in search of an equalizer. Inter, their early confidence shaken, clung on desperately.
Then, with 15 minutes to go, disaster struck for Inter. A clumsy challenge in the box, a penalty to Barcelona. Lewandowski stepped up and coolly slotted the ball home. The scores were level. The San Siro, silenced moments before, was now a cauldron of anxiety.
The final whistle blew, signaling the start of extra time. The tension was almost unbearable. Both teams were exhausted, but the prize, a place in the Champions League final, was within touching distance. The atmosphere in the San Siro was electric, the crowd on the edge of their seats.
Inter, roared on by their passionate supporters, threw everything they had at Barcelona. Barcelona, their confidence restored, responded in kind. The game ebbed and flowed, both teams creating chances but unable to find the back of the net. As the first half of extra time came to an end, it seemed that penalties would be needed to separate these two titans of European football.
The second half of extra time began, and the tension reached fever pitch.
Barcelona, their experience beginning to tell, started to dominate possession.
Inter, their legs heavy, defended resolutely, throwing their bodies on the line to block shots.
Then, with just minutes remaining, the unthinkable happened.
A long ball over the top, a defensive mix-up, and Ansu Fati, the young Barcelona prodigy, found himself through on goal.
With ice in his veins, he calmly slotted the ball past the onrushing Inter goalkeeper.
The Barcelona players and fans erupted in ecstasy, believing they had won the game.
The Inter players and fans were left heartbroken, their dreams seemingly shattered.
Section 6. Acerbi, the San Siro erupts. But Inter, true to their fighting spirit, refused to give up. With seconds remaining on the clock, they won a free kick on the edge of the Barcelona box. The tension was unbearable. Francesco Acerbi, the veteran defender, stepped up to take the free kick. He struck the ball with his left foot, sending a looping shot towards the Barcelona goal. The Barcelona goalkeeper, unsighted by a crowd of players, scrambled across his line but couldn't get to the ball. The ball hit the back of the net.
The San Siro erupted in a cacophony of noise, a mixture of joy, disbelief, and relief.
Acerbi, mobbed by his teammates, had sent the game to penalties with the last kick of the game. Section 7. Fratesi, Inter's hero. The penalty shootout was a tense affair, both teams scoring their first 4 penalties. The pressure was immense. Then it was the turn of Davide Fratesi, the young Inter midfielder. He stepped up confidently and smashed the ball past the despairing dive of the Barcelona goalkeeper.
The Inter fans went wild, their team on the brink of a historic victory.
Barcelona, their last penalty taker, knew he had to score to keep his team in the competition. He took a deep breath, steadied himself, and struck the ball towards the bottom corner of the goal. Section 8, Sommer stands tall. Jan Sommer, the Inter goalkeeper, had other ideas. He dived low to his right, stretching out his left hand to claw the ball away from the goal.
The save was incredible, a moment of pure brilliance that sent Inter into the Champions League final.
The San Siro erupted once again, this time in pure unadulterated joy. Inter had done it.
They had beaten Barcelona, the mighty Barcelona, in the most dramatic of circumstances.
The players and fans celebrated together, united in their joy and disbelief. This was a night they would never forget, a night that would go down in Inter Milan folklore. Section 9, a night for the ages. For Barcelona, it was a night of bitter disappointment. They had come so close, yet fallen just short. The defeat would sting, but they would be back. They were, after all, Barcelona. But on this night, the night the San Siro roared, they were outdone, outfought, and outplayed by a magnificent Inter Milan team. This was a match for the ages, a game that had everything: passion, drama, skill, and unbelievable tension. It was a reminder of why we love football, why this sport has the power to move us like no other. And in the end, it was Inter Milan, the underdogs, who emerged victorious, their name etched into Champions League history.